Any casual viewer might think Gumball Watterson is just your typical goofy cartoon character, but longtime fans know the truth. This dude has racked up some seriously terrible moments. These are 7 of Gumball's worst ever moments, starting with the shell. During a simple school play, all he had to do was give Penny a cute kiss scene. Instead, he panics and headbutts her and cracks her shell open. Not just a little. Turns out Penny's peanut shell wasn't just her skin. It was a mask she hid behind her whole life. Without it, her true magical emotional form comes spilling out, shape-shifting wildly based on her feelings. Gumball's clumsy moment triggers her worst nightmare: total vulnerability. Penny feels so exposed that her emotions literally tear reality apart, shifting her from terrifying monsters to tiny, helpless creatures, all depending on her fear and shame. And it all started because Gumball couldn't control his sweaty palms. Sure, they eventually have a touching moment where Gumball accepts her for who she is, but seriously, he accidentally blew up a girl's entire identity because he forgot how lips work. Tough start, buddy. Let's continue with another worst moment during the sale. So the sale kicks off with Gumball and Darwin discovering that their grumpy neighbor, Mr. Robinson, is selling his house. Yep, the OG grumpy old man of Elmore is packing up and peacing out. This news hits them like a ton of bricks. They're devastated, acting as if the world is ending. Like acting as if Mr. Robinson is their grandpa being sent to another dimension. Naturally, they decide, we gotta make some precious memories before he's gone forever. And by precious memories, I mean they start harassing him nonstop. Unsurprisingly, Mr. Robinson is less than thrilled with their actions. But wait, plot twist. The boys realize they're the reason Mr. Robinson wants to move away. So what do Gumball and Darwin do? Accept it gracefully? Wish him well? Nah! They go full Home Alone sabotage mode to destroy the house sale, like dressing up as a criminal and a cop to stage a fake arrest, creating fake noises to make the neighborhood seem noisy, and even painting a fake hole to the underworld on the street. And then, in pure Gumball genius fashion, they think there's oil underground because the buyers mention rich soil. So Gumball grabs a shovel and digs like a possessed Minecraft speedrunner. Instead of oil, he hits a pipeline and unleashes a giant geyser of sewage all over the neighborhood. So, do they stop the sale? Weirdly, yes. Because now Mr. Robinson thinks he's sitting on a gold mine. Spoiler, it's poop, and he decides he's never leaving. Mission kinda accomplished. Jealousy is a beast, and in the flower, Gumball straight up lets it consume him. After seeing Penny hug Leslie, Gumball gets so irrationally jealous that he nearly kills Leslie and almost destroys his own relationship. And the worst part? Penny and Leslie are cousins. Gumball doesn't just risk Penny's trust, he demolishes it. Instead of communicating like a normal person, he lets jealousy dictate his actions, leading to an emotional meltdown that hurts everyone involved. Penny forgives him because Penny is a literal angel, but honestly, Gumball did not deserve her forgiveness in this one. This is one of those moments that perfectly shows how Gumball's insecurity often becomes his downfall. Instead of trusting the girl he supposedly loves, he immediately jumps to the worst conclusions. It's a masterclass in self-sabotage. Plus, seeing Penny so hurt by Gumball's lack of trust? Absolutely brutal. This wasn't just a bad look, it was a relationship nuke. Do you remember the refund? So after 7 months of waiting, long enough for Darwin to grow leg hair, Gumball and Darwin finally get their video game. Hyped beyond belief, they boot up the console, only to realize the game is a cartridge, not a disc. It doesn't even fit. Crushed, they head to Ripley 2000 to demand a refund from Larry. But Larry's trapped. Store policy says no refunds, and the manager's spying through security cameras. So what do Gumball and Darwin do? Everything except act normal. They pretend to be the police. They try and fail to hypnotize Larry. When Gumball and Darwin rage quit, Richard takes over. Biker jacket, fake tattoos, full intimidation mode. He even steals the refund money. But then the terrifying boss appears. Richard laughs at how unscary the bear is and demands a refund, which immediately triggers the bear to go feral. Full-on biting, clawing, climbing all over Richard like a rabid squirrel. Gumball and Darwin? They just stand there laughing until they panic and dash into the manager's office. They steal the security tape, showing the chaos, and blackmail the bear. Cornered, the bear suddenly flips into nice mode and offers them a 1% discount on a game system for their cartridge. And Gumball, Darwin, and Richard, after all that war, take the deal. Because in Elmore, a discount is a discount, bro. Here's another story of Gumball being jealous. In The Dream, Gumball wakes up furious. Why? Because he dreamt that Darwin stole his girlfriend, Penny. Totally normal to wake up salty over a dream, right? Wrong. Instead of, realizing it's just a dream, Gumball literally holds a grudge in real life. At breakfast, Darwin's like, "Bro, chill. It wasn't real." But Gumball, he's holding a full grudge. At school, Darwin tries to apologize, but nothing works. Gumball decides to test Penny's loyalty. He brings her 2 cupcakes, a sweet blue one, Gumball's color, and an ugly orange one, Darwin's color. Penny picks the orange one. Gumball freaks out, shoves the blue cupcake in her mouth, and she immediately swells up from a blueberry allergy. It gets worse. Gumball rushes to Penny's locker to find her meds. But there are 2 jars, blue and orange pills. Guess which one he grabs? The blue ones, which are thumbtacks, not medicine. All this drama just because of a dream. Let's continue with the scam. So it's Halloween at Elmore Junior High, and Miss Simeon's throwing a spooky show and tell. And by spooky, I mean everyone's half asleep until Gumball steps up. He tells the tale of Gargaroth, a hideous demon who demanded a princess's hand in marriage. When the princess ran off in disgust, Gargaroth snapped, went on a full eating rampage, and had to be banished to the underworld. And according to Gumball's story, if you say his name too many times, he comes back. Naturally, Gumball keeps yelling Gargaroth like a maniac, and suddenly, real paranormal stuff starts happening. Sarah's head levitates, the room turns cursed, kids run screaming. Miss Simeon? Probably questioning all her life choices. Turns out, it was all fake. Carrie the ghost was pulling the strings to create fake hauntings. The plan, Gumball, Darwin, and Carrie fake exorcisms and get paid in Halloween candy. At first, Darwin's like, "Bro, this is illegal." But then Gumball mentions it's a way to flirt with Carrie, and Darwin's morals vanish real quick. Just when they're about to celebrate their sweet scam in the attic, the sky outside turns blood red and the ground cracks open. Gumball, Darwin, and Carrie rush to Elmore Junior High, where Mr. Small says it straight up. Gargaroth is real now. Uh-oh. They head inside and bam! Actual giant demon monster rising from the underworld. This was not part of the plan. They try fighting him, fail horribly, but then Carrie realizes how to beat him by feeding him all the candy, as Gargaroth's hunger is his weakness. So they teleport their massive stash of candy into his mouth. He keeps eating and eating until there's one piece left. Gumball, being Gumball, refuses to give up his last lollipop. With no other choice, Carrie prepares to sacrifice herself by marrying Gargaroth. Darwin is devastated. He just wanted a date, not a ghost wedding. At the last second, Gumball finally hands over the lollipop. Gargaroth explodes like a giant piñata, and the school goes back to normal. Last, but certainly not the least worst moment of Gumball takes place in The Matchmaker. The episode kicks off with Darwin alone in his room, staring at his computer screen and absolutely belting out a heartbreaking love song. Like full-blown soap opera vibes. Gumball walks in like, "Yo, bro, what's up?" But Darwin, embarrassed, refuses to talk and storms out. Naturally, Gumball snoops through his computer and finds a blurry photo of what looks like Terry. Conclusion is Darwin's crushing hard. Time to play matchmaker. Gumball recruits Carrie to help him set Darwin up with Terry, and Carrie agrees even though she's secretly in love with Darwin herself. Feeling guilty, Carrie finally brews a real love potion. Gumball shoots Darwin and Terry with magic arrows. They instantly fall head over heels. Problem is, Gumball had it wrong. The blurry photo wasn't Terry, it was Carrie. Because ghosts don't show up in photos. Now Gumball and Carrie have to break Darwin and Terry up. Nothing works. The love potion's too strong. Finally, Carrie's real tear breaks the spell. Darwin realizes he loves Carrie, not Terry. Carrie shyly asks him out, Darwin says yes, and Gumball saves the day by making Terry fall in love with her cleaning spray. Typical Elmore ending. Pure chaos and actual true love. Honestly, after seeing all that chaos, betrayal, and candy-related destruction, it's a miracle he still has friends, family, or a functioning reality around him. But hey, that's the amazing world of Gumball for you. Pure, beautiful disaster. If you enjoyed this breakdown, smash that like button and subscribe for more.